We have all heard the saying, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Oh, yes. So it may be an oldie, but scam prevention experts maintain that it's still good advice, especially when buying and selling on a social media marketplace, which is so popular now.
It really is. Financial expert Farnoosh Torabi is joining us this morning to share tips on how to protect you and your loved ones from these costly schemes. Good morning to you.
Good morning, ladies. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay, so, almost everyone knows someone who's gotten scammed or nearly scammed through some kind of a marketplace. So what are some of the most commonly scammed items?
The list is long, unfortunately, and we know that a lot of folks are getting scammed. They're on the rise on social media. Based on JP Morgan Chase data, nearly half of scams reported to Chase by their customers originates on social media. And a lot of the commonly scammed items on social media marketplaces are rental property listings, home services, pets, concert tickets. Here's what happens. The scammers will typically list these items for really low prices, like you're shocked, and you get reeled in. And then they insist that you pay through a very specific payment method, usually one that doesn't have payment protection. And then you get the item, maybe you don't, and if you get it, it's not what you expected, and then now you don't have payment protection to be able to follow up in any way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are some red flags that we should watch out for, and then what steps can we take to protect ourselves from becoming one of those victims?
So the scams are a little hard to detect, as you can imagine these days, right, with AI and technology, but it's really important. If you notice that it's just a really low price, too good to be true, trust your instinct and walk away. The second is don't be fooled into a false sense of urgency. A lot of times scammers will say you have to pay now, the deal's going to expire, and then of course adrenaline kicks in and we start to make really irrational choices. So that's a red flag. If they're using words like urgent, buy now, take that into consideration. If it sounds too scary, if it sounds urgent, it's important to take a beat, walk away, or just delete the listing altogether.
That's great advice. Now, when you talk about payment protection, are there things we should be looking for on this message, this site, the back and forth we've already established with this person trying to sell us something?
Yeah, how you pay is the most important piece of this process, especially if you're hoping to protect your money from scammers. So my recommendation is if you're ever shopping online, particularly on social media marketplaces, opt for a payment method that has purchase protection. So there's a follow-up potential. Like a credit card is a great example. I use credit cards. Other forms of payment like Zelle, for example, they're, I think, better used for exchanges between family and friends, people that you trust. A lot of times these scammers will insist on Zelle, they'll insist on wires or even gift card payments, which are, believe it or not, very popular right now online. But know that those don't come with payment protection. So you just want to be careful with the method that you use.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what are some other tips to stay protected on social media? Because there's so much out there.
I mean, just really approaching this through a lens of second guessing, checking for little details like, is the email address spelled correctly? Does it work? If you actually do a search engine search for the name of the brand plus the word fraud or scam, what comes up? A lot of times consumers, we're now reporting this stuff to the bureaus and we're sharing it on different community, chat rooms and stuff like that. So it's important to go off the social media website to do the research, then come back on and make a more educated decision.
You have given us a lot of great information. Okay, so where can we go if we want to look it over again, maybe even get more great tips?
The good news is there's a plethora of educational resources out there. The information is out there, and that's so powerful to have that education. Chase actually just launched a new free online resource that has actionable tips so we can spot and avoid scams on social media. That site is chase.com/don't get reeled in.
Ah, love it.
Really good advice this morning. Mm-hmm. Farnoosh, we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Yeah, great to see you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.